In December 1944, Adolf Hitler launched Operation Wacht am Rhein, a last-ditch offensive to split Allied forces, targeting the weakly defended Ardennes Forest. The plan relied on surprise and speed. Hitler assembled 250,000 troops, 1,400 tanks, and 1,000 aircraft, betting on bad weather to hide his movements. This gamble aimed to capture Antwerp and force a negotiated peace, but underestimating Allied resilience would prove fatal. Under cover of heavy fog and snowfall, German forces advanced silently through the Ardennes. White camouflaged troops and tanks moved in long columns, exploiting the element of surprise. The dense forest and poor visibility masked their buildup, allowing them to bypass Allied patrols. By dawn on December 16th, they were poised to strike the unprepared U.S. First Army, whose thin defenses crumbled under the initial assault. At 5:30 a.m., German artillery erupted across the Ardennes, catching Allied forces off guard. The 106th Infantry Division, comprising green recruits, bore the brunt of the attack. Roads became choke points as retreating convoys clashed with advancing panzers. The infamous Malmedy massacre saw 80-plus American POWs executed by SS troops, galvanizing Allied resistance. Within hours, the front line collapsed, creating a bulge in Allied defenses. The crossroads town of Bastogne became the linchpin of the battle. Surrounded by German forces, the 101st Airborne and 10th Armored Division endured relentless attacks. Running low on supplies and medical aid, they braved sub-zero temperatures. When demanded to surrender, Brigadier General McAuliffe famously replied, "Nuts." Their defiance bought critical time for Patton's Third Army to launch a relief effort. On December 23rd, the weather cleared, allowing Allied aircraft to dominate. Ki-47 Thunderbolts strafed German convoys, destroying tanks and supply trucks. Fuel depots were bombed, crippling the offensive. The Luftwaffe, outnumbered 5-1, failed to intervene. This air superiority marked the turning point as German advances stalled without fuel or reinforcements. Patton's relief column now raced toward Bastogne. German tanks, designed for speed, guzzled fuel at alarming rates. By Christmas, shortages left panzers abandoned on roads. Crews froze to death, waiting for deliveries that never came. Hitler's refusal to allocate reserves to the Eastern Front exacerbated the crisis. The 2nd Panzer Division, just 5 miles from the Meuse River, ran dry, symbolizing the offensive's collapse. Allied bombers further disrupted supply lines. General George S. Patton's Third Army executed a daring 100-mile pivot northward. In 48 hours, his troops disengaged from Saar, navigated icy roads, and smashed through German lines. On December 26, Shermans of the 4th Armored Division broke the siege. Patton's audacity, fueled by precise logistics and morale, epitomized Allied adaptability. The relieved 101st greeted them with cheers, though fighting raged for weeks. By January 1945, the Bulge was flattened. German forces, outmaneuvered and outgunned, retreated in disarray. The U.S. 1st and 3rd Armies linked up at Helfalize, trapping stragglers. Fields littered with destroyed tanks and frozen corpses testified to the cost. Hitler's gamble had cost Germany 100,000 casualties and depleted its last reserves. The road to Berlin now lay open. The battle crippled Germany's Western Front. With no reserves left, the Wehrmacht could only delay the inevitable. Allied commanders, now confident in total victory, accelerated plans to cross the Rhine. Meanwhile, Hitler retreated to his bunker, still ordering futile counterattacks. The Bulge had bought time, but only for the Soviets advancing from the east. Nazi Germany's fate was sealed. A Battle of the Bulge remains the bloodiest U.S. engagement of World War II, with 19,000 killed and 80,000 plus casualties. Thousands more suffered frostbite in the brutal cold. Memorials now dot the Ardennes, honoring those who fought in hell's frozen over. The battle's lessons on resilience, adaptability, and the cost of hubris echo through military history. As one survivor said, "We won because we had no other choice."